Welcome in to NFL Daily. My name is Jack Sperry. On today's show, I'm going to be breaking down 4 NFL teams that might be better than you think heading into the 2023 season. These are teams that I think maybe aren't necessarily breakout candidates, but definitely teams that I think are being slept on just a little bit right now. So NFL fans, get in the comment section right now and let me know, are you going to an NFL game in 2023? And if so, which one? Let me know which game you are going to this season here during 2023. And without further ado, let's get to our first team here, which is the Los Angeles Chargers. And yes, I know what you're going to say. Jack, no matter how good the Chargers seem to be, the Chargers are going to charger. But here's the thing, man. This offense is primed to be really, really freaking good this year. Justin Herbert, we'll get to him in just a second, I think could be a true, legitimate MVP candidate this year. Of course, you still have Austin Eckler, one of the best receiving backs in the National Football League. You get Rashawn Slater back. He was injured for almost the entirety of the 2022 season. He's a premier left tackle. He should be able to protect Herbert's blind side. You got Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Quentin Johnston as your new wide receiver trio. I think that's going to be an absolutely deadly trio heading into 2023 with new offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Now, Justin Herbert, let's talk about him for a little bit here. I think that Justin is getting ready for a season that's going to completely transform the way people see him. Now, yes, he's seen as a top 10 quarterback right now, but in my opinion, he's probably in the top 3 range, right up there with Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, probably, in my opinion. Okay, Justin Herbert is a fantastic quarterback, or last year, or the last 2 years, in Joe Lombardi's offense, which was one of the worst and most poorly designed offenses in the National Football League. He was first and second over the last couple of years in wins above replacement per game over the last 2 seasons, which means that he is doing so much to contribute to the success of this football team. And now that he actually has a competent offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, now that he's got 3 really good receivers in Quentin Johnston, Keenan Allen, and Mike Williams, I think this offense is getting ready to have an explosion here in 2023. And they absolutely could, in my opinion, challenge the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC West title this year. Now, the X factor with the Chargers is going to be head coach Brandon Staley and whether or not he can get this defense back on track here in 2023, because if the defense is good, I think they can definitely compete for a ring. Now, the defensive pieces here in Los Angeles, there's some good pieces here. You got Joey Bosa and Derwin James, great pieces there, elite at their respective positions. J.C. Jackson definitely needs to get back to all Pro Bowl caliber play this year. They're definitely relying on him being their number 1 guy in the secondary. Khalil Mack, somebody that's had some regression over the last couple of years, but he can still get the job done. And then Asante Samuel Jr. is another guy that I really like in Staley's Fangio style defense with lots of cover 4 and cover 6. Now, my take on this is that if Brandon Staley gets the defense to play well this season, I definitely expect the Chargers to be a competitor in the AFC and maybe even dethrone the Chiefs in the AFC West this season. Now, obviously, the Chiefs are going to be really good. They're going to get those 12, 13 wins they seem to get every single season. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in football, in my opinion. But with Justin Herbert, with the talent that he possesses, with the new offensive coordinator, and with all the weapons at his disposal, I think he has a pretty darn good shot at winning MVP. And if he brings home the AFC West crown this year, he'll have a pretty darn good shot at doing just that. So now chime in down below here with our pinned comment on today's show. Name the NFL team you think is being slept on the most right now. What's a team that you think is going to surprise some people? Let me know down in the comments section when YouTube throws you an ad break right about now. All right, now number 2 on my list of potential breakout teams, whatever you want to call it here, the Atlanta Falcons. Now, I know what you're going to say, the NFC South's terrible, Jack. How can you have any team from the NFC South on this list? Well, here's the thing. I think that this run game in particular is going to be something that's pretty darn special this year in Atlanta. You take a look at the offensive pieces right now. Desmond Ridder, I'm not the biggest Desmond Ridder fan in the world, but when you have Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier as your running back duo, you are going to scare a lot of teams when it comes to your running game. And then you also have Drake London, who was one of the best rookie wide receivers last year, in my opinion, really slept on just because the Falcons were just awful, but I think he's an awesome talent. Can't wait to see how he does in his sophomore season. And of course, Kyle Pitts, one of the most talented tight ends to ever come in the league. year 3 is usually when tight ends do a great job at kind of making that third-year leap. I'm really excited for Kyle Pitts. And then the offensive line is not bad here, okay? You like Jake Matthews. You like Matthew Bergeron, rookie out of Syracuse. I like Chris Lindstrom a lot. And then Caleb McGarry's a really good run blocker as well. Center, who knows with the center position at this point. I really do think that this is going to be a solid offensive line mixed with some really, really great running backs with Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. I think that they should have a really dominant run game this year because that's what Arthur Smith does really, really well as an offensive play caller. His specialty is the run game. Now he's got two, maybe I won't say elite running backs, but really, really good running backs. And Bijan could absolutely be that offensive rookie of the year this year that completely takes this team to the next level and to the playoffs. Because I think this defense should be a lot better than people think. A.J. Terrell, when he's at his best, he's one of, if not the best cornerback in the National Football League here. Grady Jarrett can definitely get after quarterbacks. Same thing with Calais Campbell on the interior of the defensive line. Jesse Bates, the big free agency pickup for Atlanta this year, going to be playing free safety for him. He's a fantastic, fantastic safety, one of the best in the National Football League. And then you also trade for Jeff Okudah. We'll see how he does here. He hasn't really been worth that top 10 selection with the Detroit Lions, but they traded him away. Let's see if he can do something nice here in the state of Georgia. So do you think that this is going to be good enough to take the South here? An elite run game mixed with an improved defense. I absolutely think it should be enough to win the NFC South this year. I'm not a big believer in Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bryce Young, I think, is going to be a lot worse in his rookie year than people expect. Doesn't have a whole lot of weapons. Still not a great offensive line there in Carolina either. And then, I just think that New Orleans as well. Derek Carr. I'm not a big fan of Derek Carr or Dennis Allen at this point, if I'm being completely honest with you. And right now, if I'm looking at these 4 teams and I have to pick a winner of the NFC South, I think I definitely have to go with Atlanta. I like the run game. I think Bijan Robinson is probably my early favorite to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Tyler Algier is your second option, allows you to keep those 2 running backs in a rotation and keep them fresh throughout the season. I think the offensive line is pretty good. And then I really do like the defense as well. I like the additions that they made this year. Probably not the best defense in the league, but I think it's definitely going to be good enough to compete in the NFC South. And I think Arthur Smith is going to assert himself as that guy in Atlanta moving forward. And I think Desmond Ridder might be a little bit better than people think too. But let me know, who wins the NFC South here in 2023? Do you think it'll be the Falcons, type ATL? If you think it's the Panthers, type CAR? If you think it's the Saints, go NO. Or if you think it's going to be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, type TB down in the comments. All right, guys, go to the Chat Sports website where we've got some great deals on some awesome gifts for dad here heading into Father's Day. If you don't have a Father's Day gift lined up right now, get your dad something that he's absolutely going to love with one of these Father's Day specific items here on the Chat Sports website. On sale right now, some great prices. You can go chatsports.com/fathers to get some awesome Father's Day gear. On sale, like I said, guys, so if you need to rumble up something here before this Sunday, go ahead, do me a favor. Go chatsports.com/fathers to get your Father's Day gift for your dad today. All right, number 3 on my list, sticking in the NFC here, the Seattle Seahawks. Now, Seattle is a team that I really think is going to surprise some people yet again in 2023. Last year, they definitely overperformed, as some people thought they were going to be the worst team in the National Football League, but then Geno Smith came in and absolutely surprised some people, winning Comeback Player of the Year last year. And then once again, they're being slept on here. 8.5 games is what Vegas has as their over-under in the win totals here in 2023. And I think they're going to be way above that, if I'm being completely honest with you. Geno Smith, do not sleep on him. He is absolutely a legit number 1 starting quarterback in this league. And now he's got one of the best core of wide receivers here in the entire league, in my opinion, with DK Metcalf as your deep threat. Tyler Lockett is another guy that can absolutely beat you deep. And now you've got somebody underneath that's a real technician, and Jackson Smith-Njigba, in my opinion, the best wide receiver in this year's draft class, and you got him later in the first round, which is absolutely fantastic. And then people forget about Kenneth Walker III as their running back. He is a fantastic talent as well. I think this offense is going to be really, really nice. And then specifically Geno Smith. People still sleep on Geno because he spent a lot of time as a backup quarterback in this league, and people are like, it's kind of a fluke that he had that 1 year. But let me tell you guys, I've watched the film. I've seen every single snap that Geno Smith took in the 2022 season, and it's no joke. He has plays with great footwork. He still has a great arm. He's very accurate. He knows how to read defenses. He is somebody that is going to continue to play at a high level here. I think over the next couple of years, there's a reason why Seattle opted to not get a quarterback in this year's NFL draft. It's because they believe in this guy. He operates that system that Shane Waldron runs to perfection here in Seattle. And I think he's going to have a really, really nice 2023 campaign with the wide receivers that he got. Because, I mean, I just love this wide receiver room because you got two guys that can really beat you over the top in Metcalf and Lockett. And then you got Jackson Smith-Njigba, who's a complete technician as a route runner. This is going to be one of the most fearsome trios of wide receivers in the league this year. As far as I can tell, and I'm super excited for the Seattle Seahawks offense, particularly in a weak NFC. Now let's move to the defensive side of the ball here, where they definitely have some great young players in the secondary. 4 out of their 5 key defensive pieces here are in the back end of the defense. Tariq Woolen, the cornerback, just an interception machine back there. Devin Witherspoon, I expect to be the same way. Number 1 cornerback in this year's draft class. Bobby Wagner decided to come back. Okay, so that tells me that he believes in Pete Carroll and what the Seattle Seahawks are doing right now. And then, of course, your safety duo in Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams, one of the most underrated safety duos in the National Football League. Jamal Adams is going to be playing a lot in the box this year. Quandre Diggs, a really, really good free safety, one of the more underrated players in the National Football League. This defense is going to be a lot better than people think. And because of that, I think Seattle could be a Super Bowl dark horse. Now, I'm not going to put them in the favorites category. Right, the Eagles and the 49ers are the clear favorites in the NFC going into the season. But listen, as a wild card with Geno Smith, with the amount of weaponry that he has at his disposal, with how good I think this offense is going to be, and this we all know how much of an offensive league the NFL is at this point in time. I absolutely think the Seattle Seahawks, led by Pete Carroll and Geno Smith, could potentially make a Super Bowl push and maybe surprise some people in the NFL playoffs this season. Now, let me know in the comment section, how is the Seahawks' chances of winning the NFC West this year over the 49ers? Let me know. Type Y if you think they can win it, or type N if you don't. For me personally, I think the Niners are going to have it. Seattle's probably going to be a wild card yet again this season, but watch out for that Super Bowl push. And finally here, another NFC team here to discuss, the Chicago Bears. Now, the Bears are a team that came into this offseason with a ton of cap space, a ton of draft capital. They traded down from the number 1 overall pick, and I really think that they've done a good job here to give Justin Fields enough help, where if Justin Fields can make that third-year leap now, the same kind of leap that Jalen Hurts made, that Josh Allen made, right? More of a raw quarterback coming into the league, but now is his time to shine. You add D.J. Moore. You still have Darnell Mooney. Khalil Herbert's a pretty darn good running back, and then Cole Kmet coming into this year, I think is going to have a really nice season. And then the offensive line, it's a lot better. Now, it's not necessarily the best in the league by any means. Like, Braxton Jones looked pretty decent last year. Tevin Jenkins is pretty darn good as a guard. Cody Whitehair. And then you add Nate Davis at right guard. Really, really good guard right there. And then Darnell Wright is a straight-up beast at right tackle. Can't wait to see what he can do for the Chicago Bears this year. This is a much improved offensive line, and the X factor here is plain and simply going to be, does Justin Fields break out? We've seen what he can do with his legs, right? We can see the playmaking flashes on tape in his game. He's a fantastic talent. Seriously, the world is this guy's oyster. He can be as good as he wants to be, but he needs to develop the mental processing side of the game. He needs to get more accurate. Can he make that final step here to really become a true franchise quarterback? He's somebody that I believe in. He's an extremely hard worker. He's played really good. He can really, he's a really clutch performer as well. Can really rise to the occasion. I think he has the type of mentality of a franchise quarterback, but it really does depend on how he's going to be able to progress through his reads this year. And can he become a true NFL level passer? I think with the improved offensive line and the improved weapons, I think he has a pretty darn good shot. Now let's shift to the defensive side of the ball, where I like Jalen Johnson. I like the additions in the middle there with TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds. You're really hoping that your rookie guys like from last year, Kyler Gordon, Jaquan Brisker, can really do a good job for you this year. And then Eddie Jackson, I still think, is one of the more underrated free safeties in the National Football League as well. And then I'm a big believer in Matt Eberflus as the defensive play caller as well. And right now, just like the NFC South, the NFC North is not very good right now, right? The Detroit Lions are expected to win this division this year with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff and Ben Johnson. They should probably win the division this year, but Dan Campbell isn't the best in terms of clock management. He's not the best in terms of game time strategy, in my opinion. The Vikings are going to be bad. I think the Packers are probably going to be bad. But so if Justin Fields can get things going here and really ascend to that star level of quarterback, I think the Bears might have a shot at the NFC North this year if Detroit underperforms. So that's definitely something to keep your eye on. Chicago could be a breakout candidate if Justin Fields has a breakout season this year. So do you want more shows like this? Do you want me to break down maybe 4 teams that are going to do worse than you think in 2023? Let me know right now by clicking that thumbs up icon. It's a free and easy way to help out the channel, helps push this video out to more NFL fans and helps us grow the channel. So I really do appreciate all the support, guys. That's going to be it for me today, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in to the entirety of the show today. I will see you guys later. Peace.